So this is number 3 on page 574, and we're supposed to solve this equation. And one of the things that I notice is it has both a sine and a cosine in it, which is going to be difficult for me to try and factor or anything like that. So I'm going to turn this cosine squared into a sine squared. And so one of the things that I know is cosine squared plus sine squared, both of theta, equals 1. Right? That's that Pythagorean identity. So I'm going to isolate for cosine squared. So I'm going to subtract sine squared from both sides. So I know that. So cosine squared can be, that can be substituted in for it. So I'm going to do that. So this is 2 multiplied by times cosine squared. So this would be 2 multiplied by, instead of cosine squared, I'm going to use this. 1 minus sine squared. And then the rest of it is, of course, what it is. So I just did that substitution. Now I only have one trig function in here. So now I should be able to solve it, hopefully. Let's distribute that 2 and see what happens. 2 minus 2 sine squared theta plus sine theta equals 1. You know what I'm going to do? I don't like this being negative. I'm just going to get everything on the same side. I'm going to put everything on the right-hand side. So if I add 2 sine squared thetas to both sides, I'll have this. If I subtract sine theta from both sides, I'll have this. And if I subtract 2 from both sides, I'll have a negative 1. And then that'll be equal to 0. So now I have something that's not a quadratic, but it is in quadratic form. So I can factor this. Like, treat it like it was 2x squared minus x minus 1. How would you factor that? Where the x is just the sine theta. So this would factor into 2 sine theta, sine theta. I want that middle term to be negative, so I'll make this a negative 1 and a positive 1. That multiplies to negative 1 equals 0. Now I have 2 things multiplied together give me 0, so either this is 0 or this is 0 or both. So I just have to solve these. So add 1 to both sides. Sine theta is 1. Subtract 1, right? Divide by 2. So sine theta is negative 1/2. So now I'm just going to grab a unit circle and look up those values. Sine theta is negative 1/2. Looks like it happens here, right? Sine's y, its height, and here. So 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. And when sine 1, that is straight up pi over 2. And you could do it in degrees too. They're there.